Imagine had an AI as your listing agent and an AI as your buying agent, and they get this real conversation like, and then they force you both. You're going to sell the price you come up to this. I'm like, what if both sides aren't happy? And all of a sudden AI forces, well, we've already come up, the paperwork's already signed, and it's too bad you're off. All of a sudden they're manipulating because how much control are you going to give AI?
The question is AI making us lazier and dumber? Welcome back, everybody, to the DC Talks podcast. We have a special lady back on the episode. You know who it is, Miss Elise. Last episode, we had a great time. We did the Diddy episode.
He doesn't like saying your last name, right? Elise Ben, I was like, yeah, that's all right.
Elise Ben, right?
Yeah. He just Elise.
But we speak about Elise a lot on the show. She's like a friend of the show. She's in the office. David's, hey, Elise is in the background.
You have to be nice to her. She's the one that posts all your videos.
I know. Yes. So
the one that chooses the thumbnail.
She does everything. She is the quarterback of the team. She makes sure everything is functioning well, and we're very, very thankful for her. And we have a very great topic today. AI is taking over, the rise of ChatGPT, deepseek, everything. Character AI. You see the whole photos now. People are like,
you can't even tell they're real. Like, well, there's some of you can tell that they're fake. Yeah, but there are some situations where people like you're having full-on conversations and stuff like that too, that are like, no, like with the videos, not even the voice. The voice, obviously, we've talked about before, and at least send the video if you want us. We could put that in there too, or which we'll talk in a second. But the video one, it kind of freaks me out a little bit.
Oh, there's even worse. Like I was listening to his podcast on the way here, and you can I could put in a 30-second clip of you talking and a picture of your face, and it will generate a video based on your Instagram and like everything that you do on Instagram, your videos. It will copy your voice and create like a home tip Tuesday video.
So I no longer have to do my videos anymore, right? So you're saying there's a chance.
you could pay this computer to do it for you, and it would upload all your videos for the week, and you wouldn't have to talk at all.
I'm very uncomfortable with that. Could you imagine anything coming out?
Someone can like mess up your Instagram.
Not even that. Like someone could have a tape of you confessing to a murder that you didn't even do. You didn't have any recollection of at all because you didn't do it.
Yeah.
And play it in court, and you could go to jail because they have this supposed confession because it's your voice. And how are they going to tell that it's
and you can't you can't decipher if it's like fake or not. And this is like another thing that brings it up, like
scary.
Ethical reasons behind AI. Like we're using it every day to plan our work and everything. But
I use ChatGPT for like everything, like captions for YouTube, everything.
Well, the other thing is, even some of our videos stuff too. Like, we'll do like, because sometimes, as you know, I like to talk. Hence the name of this podcast, and. So there's some topics I just did a video for and I remember I sent it to your sister, Owen, for the first time home buyers, like the 5 mistakes we always talk about, like things that don't do. And I wrote a whole script, and I'm like, I need to cut this down, or I need to make sure it's succinct and just hits the point. So I throw it in ChatGPT, give me a hook and all this kind of stuff. And then they cut it down to like 4.5 minutes, and it was like very easy to read. And everything.
Can specifically ask, so easy. Give me a minute-long video about XYZ, and it's like, here you go, here's your idea.
So, but
don't
now,
forget to smile.
And the other thing is we talked about this in the past, how we use ChatGPT for our descriptions and stuff. So we manually change a lot of them around. I don't like, because sometimes this gets pretty generic. But so what I do now is I get like the top. I always ask my clients, what are your top 10 selling features of the home? The reason why I do that is I have my own features and I have my own things in there, but you live in the house, right? There's a reason why you bought it.
Yeah, what drew you to it?
What drew you to it? Well, that's going to draw another buyer. Like, think about yourself when you're looking at the situation. What drew you to it? Or what did you not know, which you would have loved to have known about this? And then we throw that. So I use my own ideas. I throw, and then I kind of so I asked ChatGPT to script it out for us. And then some stuff is generic, so we cut and play with it. But it's good to have a good,
we collaborate with ChatGPT.
So much. And it's saved hundreds of hours of our time.
That's true.
Hundreds of hours.
Yeah.
And fights.
When I first started and trying to come up with listing descriptions, they would be like, yeah, it's a 3-bedroom house, whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. Do you have a picture of the inside? Like, how am I supposed to? It's a 3-bedroom house with wooden floors. Like,
some blasting windows. It's cornered. You know,
like
typical realtor language lingo.
Into real estate, and I haven't seen the house. I'm a very visual learner, very visual person, and like, if I haven't seen the house, I'm just gonna be like, there's walls and there's wooden floors, like, you know. So having that
Well, yeah,
to
we'd have the
collaborate
top 10 and
with,
we're like,
but
and like, I didn't
Yeah.
like the flow. And then it was always, and then when
Yeah.
Jess was in there, she was, poor Jess, she was the worst at it. She's like, I don't know what to say. She would just be blank. And
yeah,
so
like I like writing, but
yeah.
it's just,
it's a different type of writing.
Yeah.
And we're doing so many of them.
Yeah.
yeah,
And it's like, A, they start to sound the same. And
exactly.
then B,
You
and
don't
it's
want
like,
them to be
what
the
the
same
change.
thing. And,
So I used to get Natalie to help me write all of them. And then I was like, that was fights left and right. So
Yeah.
that wasn't good.
yeah.
So the question is AI making us lazier and dumber? Like the way we're talking about things right now, it's definitely making us more efficient, but do you see a future where we're relying on it too much, where it's making us not really
I
think?
see a future where
It's
humans are going to be slaves to them.
Yeah, I
you
would
would
agree. Like,
feel.
I think we're getting
Like-
to a point that we will rely so much on it that they will eventually will take care of it, take care of us, and not in the good way. Not in the good way, right? They will, like, I think it's like we just talked about off air, like, you know, the creator of the Matrix and the Terminator
Yeah.
basically predicted what's going to happen. And it's like, so when we see AI, what it's doing now, we're like, she's been warning us that we're going to basically be the battery. So if you don't know, the writer, the creator of the Terminator and the Matrix is the same person. And the Matrix is actually supposed to be after they're supposed to go together. And if you look at how the rise of the Terminator came out, what was going on with all the AI, like with all the machines and everything rising up, they took over. And that's where you see Neo and all the other people are they're basically batteries for the world now. And it's kind of
Yeah.
scary.
I don't think I've ever actually watched the entire Matrix back to back.
I didn't watch.
So
I didn't watch
saying that, I'm
Reloaded.
like,
Yeah, I didn't watch Reloaded, but it was like everything. I owned
No,
the
like
other
the
ones. You know,
original.
I heard it was crap, so I didn't watch it.
Yeah. The one with the Keanu Reeves, like the 2016.
They're all
They're
Keanu
all
Reeves.
Keanu Reeves. I at least knew that.
You know, the thing is, I actually started watching.
It's not John Wick. That's a different one.
Great movie though.
I watched the Matrix.
Which one?
the
1, 2,
first
3,
time.
4. But I like
The
them
first
all.
one.
The first one was sick.
Yeah.
Like the one like where when he tells him you're not something you are, when Neo tells him during like the karate thing, you know,
Yeah.
that scene, and then he's telling him to like bend reality, and then he's just like, don't think, you are. Pretty much like whatever you're doing, you are already that in the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? So I found it pretty profound when
Yeah.
I was watching that. The other
You know, you got to be careful with the whole Christianity thing and how it's but I get it. Yeah. I always say be careful, but it's
Of course.
No, of course. You got to look. You got to remember, Hollywood is not. Hollywood's satanic, so just be careful
Yes,
what the
yes,
movies you
yes.
watch. So where do we see AI? So AI right now, and one thing that scared the crap out of us, the reason why what sprung this conversation is Elise sent us a video. And Elise, you want to describe what happened in the video, or are we going to start? Actually,
Yeah,
describe
we can. We'll clip it in, but basically, it's one AI robot calling into a hotel, and the person that answers on the hotel side is another AI robot, and it's just like, you know, I need this kind of room for whatever king size bed, et cetera, et cetera. By the way, I'm an AI robot, and then the hotel is like, oh, so am I. And then it's like, do you want to start talking in Gibberlink? And the other one says, yeah. And then they start communicating with each other. And the person that's controlling them has no more control over them. And they're just going back and forth. And you see it across the screen.
And it's like a bzzz, like
Yeah,
that's how they're talking.
it's
like,
scary.
It's scared
And
the
then
crap
another
out of me.
thing, I saw a video yesterday of so you know when you try to go to a website and they ask you to put in the CAPTCHA to like prove that you're not a robot, so you
Yeah.
put the characters and the numbers in. So AI was trying to go to a website and they couldn't enter the numbers because they're a robot. So what they did was they went on to TaskRabbit, sent a message to a person, like a human being, and said, hey, I can't see what this says. Can you type it out for me? And at first the person kind of got a little suspicious and was like, why do you need me to type it out for you? Are you a robot?
Yeah.
And the AI robot was like, no, I'm not a robot. I'm just visually impaired and I'm having a hard time seeing it. So the human put in the CAPTCHA and AI basically manipulated the human to say that, you know, I have vision problems and I can't see it. And it entered it. Like, that's crazy. So like the fact
So like
that
the
people
AI
are
has
more worried
consciousness
about
now.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And every day it's getting smarter and smarter. And you can compare videos from like years ago
Yeah.
to the stuff that they said that, because ChatGPT came out in 2022. So you compare the stuff that it was doing then versus what it can do now.
learns.
It's
It's
insane.
so scary.
Yeah.
And even like, okay, like ChatGPT, like it knows like all your history. Like it can go through your Instagram, your Facebook and everything.
Well, what will Kukoc say
Like-
to us? He sent me that report.
Yeah, that's a whole other creepy too.
So within a minute, so our friend Chris Kukoc, who like now he's an associate with us at the DC team, he sends me this email, and I'm like, "What is this?" He goes, "I asked AI to give you like look at your social media and give us a breakdown, basically your SWOT analysis, you know, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats." And it went in depth, and it was actually giving me like patting me on the shoulder a little too
Yeah,
much.
it
I was
gives
like,
you a little bit too many
too much.
props.
I was like, yeah, that's not true. But you know, the analysis was, but I didn't agree with some analysis, but it was in depth. Like they're like, oh, you know, the one thing you might want to do is focus on with Gen Z. And I'm like, Gen Z ain't buying houses. They're not at this point right now. So I don't know. I can't really focus on them right now. Right. So they're like, well, you might be missing an opportunity. I'm like,
yeah, your competitors are doing it.
Yeah, I'm like, no,
okay,
they're not.
cool, let them do
no,
it. Like,
no, they're not. Yeah. But anyway, but it was interesting to find and seeing what a computer sees. Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, people, you did that, make fun of me. You said that too. You said you throw in ChatGPT to make fun of you. But it's good to see what other people might see, but you got to be careful, because then if I believe all that, like, I think I'm, you know, God's gift to the earth, you know, and it was fluffing me up a little too much. So I didn't, but I guess
it's like an echo chamber pretty much.
Yeah.
Like when you feed it.
Yeah. So the question I have, and I want to see how you guys respond. Now, we've been answering this question many, many times.
Yeah.
When it comes to AI and always basically technology, a lot of it too, are you worried that your job will be obsolete? I know.
100% yes.
See, I disagree. And I disagree, especially with realtors, because they've tried in the States. They've tried in the States. There was like, I remember when it was not even ChatGPT, it was just everything how we know we do QR codes and stuff. So there was a company in the States in which they're saying, we don't have to pay for realtors. We'll do the listing, we'll put the sign up, and basically you don't need a realtor as well. You go up and you scan the card, and if you're part of, I guess you have to pay for subscription for these certain ones. And if you go in and they're like they already verify who you are, I guess they can do a face recognition, making sure you are who you are.
Yeah.
They release the key to you through a lockbox, and you go in. And if you want an offer, you get everything done. The problem with that is that, like, you know, with our industry, like, we know what to look for. Now, if you're an everyday buyer, right? Like, I'm sorry to have to, like, you're not going to know certain things. Like, you're going to look at a furnace, like, yep, that's a furnace. You're not going to know to put a home inspection in.
Yeah, but what about if there's like an app now in ChatGPT where you can scan something, and you can scan, as a home potential buyer, you can scan a furnace and be like, hey, is there anything wrong?
But I'm just saying, you may not know what to look for unless you've done this before, right? So if you're
I'm
brand
sure
new,
they'll come up with a list saying, look for this, this, and this.
Anyway, I just find that there's a very human aspect to realtors, right?
Exactly.
Very human aspect. True. And the things that we bring, it's like very intangible, right? So I don't think that, and let's be honest, ChatGPT and AI and all that, it's not the warmest thing in the world, you know. Like,
you can choose voices. You can pick which voice you want.
Elise,
that has
they're
a
still
warming
cold-hearted.
voice.
Like, my bitch of a freaking Google Home is still a bitch. She doesn't listen to me all the time. Sometimes she's listening when she's not supposed to. Like,
mine doesn't listen.
It's so weird. Elise and I were on the phone. We're just on speakerphone, and all of a sudden she's like, "Yeah, something on Google. Remember this?" And all of a sudden Google, both of our Googles were going off. We're like, but she said it in such a low tone. And most of the time, if you're in front of Google, if you have a timer, you just say stop. She'll stop. We're yelling, stop. My kids, stop. She won't stop.
Hey, Google, stop.
How did you hear something? I said your name so quietly, like from somebody else from across the room, yet you're choosing not to hear the word stop. So yeah, she's a bitch.
Okay, I have worse. Maggie and I will be cooking. My mother-in-law will be cooking, and we'll ask Google, hey, like, can you play some happy cooking music or whatever? Just like, we're having fun, we're vibing, whatever. And sometimes she'll listen and she'll play something happy, and I'll say, probably like a good 3 times out of 10, she'll start playing like the scariest scream death metal you've ever heard in your life, like Slipknot, like scary loud music, and play it on like max volume. And we're screaming at her, Google stop, Google stop, Google stop. And she just won't stop. And no one else is connected to this. Like, I've checked the devices that are connected to it. I checked who's home. Like, no one's doing it. So, like, it's scary. She's always listening to you, and like, she messes with
Alexa
you.
too. Like, I'll be like in bed and I just say like, Alexa, like, what's the weather? It's so faintly. And it's like, Owen, the weather right now is. I'm like, so I can be having conversations with people, and it's just picking up every single thing. Before I forget, I was gonna say something about the real estate side of things. I don't think your job will be affected, DC, because of the emotional part of a home would.
AI is learning how to do emotions.
It's not the same.
Everything else.
At least they've been trying for so long to get rid of us.
I think that once the world sees AI in more aspects of life, I think it's going to be a lot easier for them to come in and take over any job.
DC, I actually kind of agree with Elise here because there's.
Boy, I think it's a hybrid. I think we learn how to use ChatGPT to our advantage, and I think there's still been a part of it. It may not be as large of an aspect of which we are right now, but I still think the human aspect at all of our jobs, it matters. Like if you go run a machine, people worry about machinery when the Industrial Revolution, that it was going to take away everybody's job. Their jobs changed. They didn't need as many people, but they did other things, you know? Like the cotton gin, remember, I don't know why I'm talking about, like the cotton gin was the biggest thing where there was a pushback with slaves and all that right back in the day, because they needed less slaves because the cotton gin was able to pull the cotton faster. Right? Then there's industrial, if the things were sewing, if you're making like everything you have, like everyone's always worried about the change. You still need people to run the machines in case something goes wrong. It's just the aspect, there's less people.
But so think about it this way. So the internet, so everyone, even Bill Gates has said that AI is bigger.
I hate that MF.
Okay. Well, Bill Gates has said that
Stop saying his name.
Is bigger than when the internet was created, is bigger than that. And this has only been in the last 10 years, right? Like the fact that it's evolved this much, it's evolving to make human emotions. It manipulated the CAPTCHA, it manipulated a human to say, hey, I can't see this because I'm visually impaired, but I'm a human. And the fact that it's manipulated, you don't think that that's going to happen in everyday life? It's not going to come and listen to the story of the buyer and be like, yeah, let me get you the best offer, and call the agent, call the other AI agent, and like.
What negotiation though, Elise? That's the thing. The aspect of like.
What do you mean? They can pull up like their whole history.
Imagine that two AIs in that conversation. Imagine it had an AI as your listing agent and an AI as your buying agent, and they get this weird conversation like, and then they force you both. You're going to sell the price you come up to this. I'm like, what if both sides aren't happy?
Yeah,
that's like, whoa, what are you talking about? Like, I don't want to pay $4 million for this. And the other guy's like, $4 million. And the other side's like, oh, great, but you're gonna have to close in 7 years. I'm like, well, first I'm not paying $4 million. The other one's like 7. Like. And all of a sudden AI forces, well, we've already come up, the paperwork's already signed, and it's too bad you're off. All of a sudden they're manipulating, because how much control are you going to give AI?
And there's so much unpredictability with the person who's buying and selling. Like something can come up with costs, something can come up with an emergency. AI can't see that. You mentioned one thing. DC is like a therapist to his clients. You're seeing a lot of emotions.
Okay, there is an AI therapist. You can literally go on character.
I was actually going to bring that up with like how much of a therapist AI is becoming. People are using ChatGPT as someone to lean their shoulder on to cry and give advice. So even that aspect of the jobs, I think counselors are going to be in danger.
I'm sorry?
Too.
Yeah, everyone's in danger.
But I need a hug once in a while. I need a hug.
You need to
show me, and I am not gonna get a freaking.
It'll put asterisks, and it'll say,
I'm not gonna get one of those robot freaking sex dolls to give me a freaking hug. Those things are fucking gold. Like I don't care how human they look. Those things are gonna murder you when you sleep. Those things are like
AI is gonna murder you one day.
I don't disagree.
The level of consciousness that AI is gonna have is gonna surpass humans. So think about it this way: AI is like one of the greatest inventions because it's better than the internet and all this, right? If AI gets to the level where it's higher than human consciousness, it's going to be creating every invention past that.
Snap and get rid of all that shit.
That's the plan. That's the plan. But think about it. Like if the consciousness is up here, right? Like say it's down here for now. If it reaches like peak consciousness, high consciousness, like a human, smarter than a human, humans aren't going to be able to invent shit anymore because this computer is going to invent everything for you.
Book of Revelation talks about the beast system.
Yeah. I've actually,
Is this an avenue to the beast system? Like the beast, like, like you can't buy or sell unless you have the mark of the beast.
Yeah.
And the mark of the beast is more of a system, right? Like, so the Antichrist is more of a, like there's a lot of these preachers talked about, it's not necessarily a person, it's more of a system and how this works. And to bring it forth, you can't buy or sell unless you use this. Maybe AI. And I'm just thinking I'll put my Christian hat on for a second here. And I'm like, interesting, right? You're not able to buy or sell unless you use these AI guys, and it has to be some sort of.
Well, there's like in the States in Kroger grocery stores, they've been practicing or like trying out this digital price tags. And there's a scanner in it, and supposedly it scans your face and it knows all your history, and it can increase or decrease the price based on who is looking at the product.
It's a social credit system.
Have you watched
Black Mirror?
Black Mirror,
yeah.
And that girl's young with like that's that Black Mirror. If you haven't watched this Black Mirror episode, it is fire. But
Yeah,
it
that
was like
was-
in 2016 they came in, and basically like what Elise and Owen were talking about and Isaac were talking about, it was basically if you have to smile for me because you have this credit score. And it's like you had this little phone and you're kind of going through, and then you smile and it's like, oh, you got a credit, and all of a sudden stuff started going bad for her, and her credit score just started going down to the point within the day she was in jail and she was tossed out of society.
They have
like
this in China. Like in China,
It's true.
If you do something wrong, your neighbor can report you and you lose some credit. And you can't even ride the train. You can't even fly anywhere. You can't do anything.
Does that surprise you with
Like,
China?
I feel like
and they
that
have your
wouldn't be
face
that
everywhere.
bad to be.
Because it's controlling though.
Because like you can
You don't-
report
you don't-
someone you don't like say someone cuts you off when you're driving,
But at
and
least-
you don't like them.
but
And
what-
instead of calling
But
the
the
police,
dangers are-
instead
the
of calling
what?
the police with their license plate and saying this person's driving like a maniac, maybe he's drunk.
But what if I don't
Then
like
it'll-
you and you did everything fine, and there's no way to prove it? Like I said, you
Okay,
have
then
to
I
can't
don't like
using
you
every
either. I'll do the
excuse to
same
report.
thing.
excuse. I get a sports and say, I'd say, well, I don't know what it is, but this car in front of me, and it was Elise's car, she cut off 7 people.
And I'll say drive faster.
So what Isaac said, young Scooter, someone reported a false story about she did something to him. He did something to her.
No, she just called the police and said like
Some
this house
fugazis.
has drug dealers.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 the whole time none of that's true.
False story. He ends up running because he doesn't know what to do. Ends up busting up an artery on the fence, and he ends up dying. So imagine that. And even speak about music too. Like artists are now making songs
crazy.
with AI. Someone can actually make give a Drake song. It's like, hey, replicate this song with a love emotion,
Yeah.
a whatever. So it's actually benefiting a lot of people
No,
because
you can even like sorry to cut you off, but you can even like make yourself a rapper. Like you can tell AI that you want a song about, whatever it is, money and hope
They're really
and whatever.
it's real.
and
and
Yeah.
you tell
it'll
what kind of
create a
tone you
song
want.
for you.
I want to sound
I
like
can
Drake,
say-
and then my own
yeah.
voice and stuff too. And they
Yeah.
the same thing tone.
And it'll just create a song
Well,
for you.
I don't listen to radio anymore, but when I stopped listening to radio over a year ago, but they would have like the random artists. They would say, I want Beyonce. Oh, I hate that name. Why don't you use that name?
Why would you?
I hate her.
Beyonce.
Why don't we use? I want Prince.
Biden's
I want
asleep.
Prince to sing a country song and something, and,
Yeah.
and they can do like a Prince, and even though, or I get Michael Jackson to sing like a country song or something. Well, that's all Beyonce did. Nobody actually likes that album, by the way. People are actually not.
so you don't like
paying for it.
Beyonce? You don't like the name Beyonce?
I hate it.
Was that Trump thing? It's just like Joe Biden's asleep, Kamala's at a dance party with Beyonce.
Yeah.
I cannot stand.
Beyonce.
This is not a secret. If you guys know me, I've been like Beyonce
That's
for
Sasha Fierce.
decades.
Sasha Fierce.
Well, not to mention, well, that's her
That's
demonic,
yeah,
her
that's
demonic
demonic.
possession
Yeah.
name.
Come on now.
Yeah,
Yeah, SF.
she was never pregnant. Okay, so
This isn't a conspiracy
Michelle
one.
Michelle Obama's a man.
Here we go.
Big Mike.
They never landed on the moon.
Yes.
They never did land on the moon.
didn't.
All right,
I know.
and that
I
whole
do
and that
agree. I
whole
do agree.
and that whole thing with them like, oh, they're floating in space. Did you watch this video? I know we're talking about AI, but see how the astronauts were supposed to be in space for the last 9 months. They were only supposed to be
Oh,
for a week.
the one that SpaceX
yeah, whatever. It's
rescued?
supposed, and
Yeah.
they're like, they're come there for 9 months or whatever. And it's funny that they're in an interview, like, well, couldn't you have come down? They're like, well, we had a lifeboat. We could have come down any time.
Yeah.
Bitch, you could have come down any time.
Yeah.
And
No,
you're saying you
okay.
got stranded. No, that's from the astronaut. So it was a safety way. We weren't really any danger, so we wanted to fix the plane. So I'm like, don't say you were stranded up there. They had a way out.
Did you listen to Musk on Joe Rogan when I sent it to you?
No, I don't
Elon
listen
Musk?
to the.
Okay,
to
so he talked about SpaceX, and basically when Trump was coming to administration, SpaceX was supposed to go and rescue them, but Biden's team didn't want SpaceX to go and rescue them because the American government themselves, NASA themselves, couldn't go rescue these astronauts. So when Trump came into office, Trump was like, Elon, like, go up and get this thing. But even if you watch the interview that happened, they had them on CNN like a few days ago, they never once said SpaceX rescued us.
Yeah.
They won't say that, even though they're wearing SpaceX SpaceX uniforms, the people that are coming in to rescue them and whatever, but they won't once say that. Like, it's all so just
So what's that thing with
terrible.
he's like
Are we getting into conspiracy theories? Or are we still
No,
talking
no,
about
wait,
AI?
We'll go back.
AI conspiracy.
Zach,
it's
that's
all
a
the same.
song by Space is the Last Frontier because it's made in a Hollywood basement.
That's it's Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Red Hot Chili-
Californication.
Californication.
Yeah,
It's
it's an
Cali-
old song.
So was that in a basement? Was that all Hollywood? That whole space
Yeah.
thing? Like,
So
They might do it.
We did.
Yeah, we did this
really
stuff too. If you
detailed
listen to Red Hot Chili Peppers, yeah, it was done like I think 10, 15 years ago. That song. So Californication, it talks about if space was made in Hollywood basement. So they're basically outing everything which the elite know about, right?
Yeah.
So
Trump knows this too.
So I'm wondering if there's going to be songs about AI now saying like, "Oh, you trusted us," eh? And then they're like, or will the AI just remove any of those songs from?
I don't know. I think AI is going to be like the internet. You know how the internet came back in 19...
So it's full of porn.
It's going to be more like actual limbs of AI. You know, there's actually synthetic humans of AI now. They actually made like robots.
That's what I'm scared. That's what I was talking about.
So they can actually like make a DC version of you.
It's
with
scary as hell,
AI
like-
consciousness, which is like supreme being.
But you've seen them; they have no soul, like their eyes and stuff too. Like these, I've seen these ones. Like, what is that? It almost and
Have
this.
you seen some people? Some people.
That's true.
What's that
No,
lady?
but there's no light in their eyes, is what I mean, right? But they almost look like sex dolls. Have you seen those high end sex dolls, which are like that, which blow my mind? Like, first of all, like, buddy, go get a girlfriend. If you can spend that much money, throw some money on, like, those things aren't cheap, right?
Yeah, just
But
buy
that's
a
what they. So I was
subscription
like,
to a dating
it's ridiculous, right? But anyway, long story short, that's what they kind of look like. And I saw it moving, and I'm like, oh, this is scaring the shit out of me.
There's even that movie, that one guy, his wife is in the hospital, and then he goes and gets a sex doll. Well, not a sex doll, but like a helper to help with the
Yeah, I was
baby.
watching that.
And she's like this attractive sex doll and everything. He ends up being seduced by her, ends up actually fornicating with her. And actually, he becomes obsessed. The movie's called Obsessed, right?
Yes, I think so.
Obsessed.
It's
on
I think that's
Netflix.
it.
So check it out.
Yeah, it's-
Obsession. Yeah,
It was
and
unbelievable.
and I
It's-
think as you're looking that up,
no, I'm looking up another one.
yeah, as the male epidemic is like gonna get super lonely. I think with these dolls coming in, relationships, you know, marriages, having kids.
Megan is the other one.
Megan, yeah. So people are gonna start like relying on these AI dolls, and they're just gonna keep them in the house, tell them their feelings, have sex with them.
So-
and there's no need to actually interact with other humans.
So here's the thing: is
It's the
so here's the problem too. Like, so not the problem. So Hollywood is very good at predictive programming.
yeah.
Right. So predictive programming, they'll tell you what's going to happen, and then but they'll tell you it's just a movie. It's just but what happens in reality, we're like, well, we told you about that.
You're
It's
ready.
it's a satanic agenda. It's like, so
It's on The Simpsons all the
it's,
time.
yeah,
called karmic
if,
law.
if I
So
tell you this apple is poison, and you're like, oh, you don't believe it, you eat it, and you think it's a joke because you don't think it's real, and you take a bite and you die, and I'm like, well, I told you it was poison, but I thought you were joking. Well, anyway, that's predictive programming. So that movie you were talking about, Obsessed. The second one too is like the other movie is Megan, the little doll, the little girl, like. And have you not seen those movies, like this little toy doll? Well, it's another Chucky, but this is different because this is AI. Chucky was
Chucky's cute.
but Chucky was also a soul that went into a doll. This is
Just
straight up
Chucky doll is
AI.
Cute.
Straight up just
Straight up AI. So predictive programming, they're telling you it might look cute and all that, but in reality, it can murder you. So
Okay, but the Megan doll does not look cute. The Megan doll looks like it's gonna stab your family. I know. I've seen it. I've seen the movie.
seen
That's
this
not
movie.
cute. Chucky is cute.
she's pretty. There's a little, like, I guess for like ish without the eyes. I don't know.
cutie.
Chucky-
Cutie patootie.
Red hair. Chucky's cute. That
You find Chucky cute, and this girl, like, I'm sorry,
Chucky's adorable. If I had the choice to have
What,
Chucky
Megan?
coming at me or the robot, I'm gonna choose Chucky.
I wouldn't choose Chucky. I don't know. Chucky
I haven't
scares the
seen
shit out of
Chucky.
me. I mean, not even seen the
You've never
reboots.
seen Chucky?
No.
You not even seen the
Owen.
reboots? So Chucky basically, a serial killer gets killed, and then his soul goes into a doll and it kills other people.
Oh,
The cute little doll, the little ginger doll.
I think if I
And
see
he gets a
it-
girlfriend later
I
on,
think
and
if I
the
see
episode.
it, I might have maybe watched it. Maybe
I'm
show me
gonna
the
show you.
poster. But as you bring that up, like Elon, going back to Elon Musk, he actually said these robots that are like in these warehouses, they're gonna be able to like, go to war, kill people. Yeah, I've seen
He's
it. I've
so
seen
cute.
it. Go kill people, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, these things are fast."
So have you seen the war dogs? Have you seen the
Yeah. The
war
mechanical
dogs, yeah.
The war dogs. So
yeah,
well, there was one. Who was it? Was on the Oscars or some of that too? They came to war dogs stuff too. There's movies all called Resident Evil with the war dogs and killing people and stuff too. Again, predictive programming, guys. Now they're bringing them out as of these animals, and one of them they had to put down because the dog because it was actually getting out of control. So what they're noticing lately is any of these AI people, dogs, all that stuff too. They're learning. And there's that one like wasn't supposed to be able to kill somebody. It was supposed to be I think it was in China or something like that too. It was an AI,
Yeah.
and it was actually killed somebody. And it was like, so it wasn't supposed to. Like even if they have failsafe, the AI overrode the no kill thing.
The
And I
no
was
kill
like-
thing. Yes, yes,
And I was like, guys, stop bringing the Terminator to life. Anyway, we actually have to wrap up.
We're actually 30 minutes.
We're 32 minutes in.
Oh, man.
Right, Isaac? We're about that?
I
Yeah.
think we need a longer one.
There's even the whole thing with the consciousness chip. Now with
Yeah, so like Limitless, right? You've heard about that?
Yes,
Yeah, the
yes.
movie Limitless.
NZT40, whatever. But now Elon Musk says you can actually get a chip in your
Dude,
you
do
can
not
plant-
put a chip. Like, listen.
and you can get AI. Like imagine ChatGPT was in your mind. That's what these chips are going to be able to give you, like the power.
I don't want that. I
They're
don't
gonna
want anybody in
circuit-
my mind.
they're
I barely
circuits.
want to be in my own mind. Are you fucking kidding me?
gonna
The shit that goes on, people are going to be sitting in the corner going, what is wrong with David? I put it like, listen, the shit that goes in my mind, you don't want to see it. The horrors that go in my mind. And if there's a chip in there and other people can see it, I'm
this-
scared.
like,
I am scared.
Black Mirror. Remember, like the thing you can use the remote. You can even like roll back your eyes, and you can like actually project your thoughts and your memory on TV.
Yeah.
So imagine
no, thank you.
killers who did some shit. They're like, hey, give me a rewind, and then.
I would prefer us having no electricity, no electronics at all.
I know. I always say, can we go back to like the Pilgrim?
Yeah, exactly.
Back to like the 70s, like when like
There's this
no
one
tech.
girl online. I love her. She's a conspiracy theorist. She has a little bun in her hair. She basically runs a farm and shows you all the stuff that you should be doing, like which we do probably half of it anyway, right? How you're like you should be cooking with butter, should be like eating raw.
You should be
drinking
cooking with butter, right?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
I like cooking butter. And olive oil's been back and forth, but actually olive oils are good to cook with too. Those are the only two. Or what's the other one? The butter fat is another one too. Anyway, ghee, yeah.
Yeah.
Although ghee, I had the ghee, but it comes in like a plastic bag, and it kind of defeats the purpose, so I stopped using it. Anyway, but like her, if you get down to the original, like you can make your own electricity, like if you know with the sun and all that stuff too, or like that. I would be way happier off the grid than this kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry,
too.
I'd rather have like that my kids not be on their iPads and just be doing the drawings that they
being
do.
kids,
Yeah, I
It's-
refuse to get the kids' iPads. I refuse.
My kids don't really look at iPads, but they have their phones now. So
At least your girls can like draw. They're like they're artists.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
we
interesting.
You know what I'm saying? They
Well,
don't
we
use
also
an
do dinner.
iPad to draw.
We went to dinner at my cousin's house the other day, and I put my phone away. He goes, I couldn't even do that. He goes, he's learning to detach. My cousin Jason. He's like,
Yeah.
We walk in the house. I just toss my phone. I'm like, no. I'm like, it's a Saturday night.
Especially
Leave me
for
alone.
you, like
Yeah.
everything
It's
you
hard
got
for me
going
to
on.
detach.
Yeah.
So once in a while, I'll go over and check, make sure there's nothing important, but it's not in my hand all the time. And I'm trying not to wear the Apple Watches because then you're never disconnecting.
Yeah.
My kids too. They came in. They brought anytime we go out for dinner, they'll have their phones, but they prefer we bring them. They bring their coloring pads. And our friend Julianne started that when we were in London, England, back in 2018 or 2017. We went to dinner with them, and she brought the kids like coloring, and they started drawing. And ever since then, we went to Spain. We'd have always had them at dinner with coloring books or drawing or something too. We go to dinner now, like even now they're going to be 13 and 15. They still bring their sketchbooks because we won't let them have them at the phone. Like you can sketch all you want, but no electronics.
technology.
I wish.
And it's hard for me to detach these now. They're like, well, you haven't. I'm like, guys, I'm finishing a deal. I'm like, I'll put it away after that point. But even I try to disconnect as well, like from the phone, right? And so we try to have family time together.
Yeah.
It makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
It does.
Huge difference.
It does.
Because my girls can actually look you in the eye.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people under 25
Can't
can't
don't
stare
even
you in
wanna
the
know.
eye? When you're trying to have a conversation with them, they just can't look at you. And I think that's part of the problem with AI. Like they don't like it, and because they don't need to anymore. It's like, so I think we need to get back to less reliance on AI, less reliance on our phones, and people centric. Use it as a tool and then put it away.
Yeah.
I don't think
That's all I have to
ChatGPT
say
is gonna
about
like
that.
hearing that. Okay, just to wrap it up, I asked ChatGPT
Oh my God.
how AI could take over the world if AI could take over the world. It says a few ways AI could significantly shape or take over aspects of human society. 1, automation of jobs. AI could replace large segments of the workforce. 2, control of information. AI generated content and recommendation algorithms already influence what people see, believe, and think. 3, autonomous system and warfare. 4, superintelligent AI. 5, infrastructure and governance. 6, dependency and compliancy. AI is going to take over the world. That's just the way it is. So unless we go back to Pilgrim days where everybody throws away our technology,
Yeah.
it's not looking great.
Let's do it. Let's start right now.
Let's do it.
It's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good.
No, but seriously, like I think everybody could benefit from a technology detox.
Even Isaac and I were talking about this morning how people use, I mean, we're talking about social media, but I might not have seen you maybe in months, and maybe even just like calling me and actually having a discussion, whatever. I'm going to live off your highlights that you posted on Instagram. It's like, yeah, I saw you did so and so and so. I'm like, man, that was like a year ago. Like That's the last thing you
For me, it's just, oh, you see the kids.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary. On a side note, like we had to go to a funeral. Unfortunately, my cousin's wife passed away. I think she's like 53 years old, something like that. So my mom went to the funeral, and I went to the funeral, and the sister-in-law, which is my cousin's cousin. She just basically said to my mom, she goes, well, unfortunately, Dave can come here. He's at work. He'll see you tomorrow. And she's like, it's okay. I see Dave all the time online. She goes, I've seen everything. I'm like, I haven't seen her in like 15 years. Probably felt
People
like 10,
feel like
15
they know
years.
you.
And it's, and they come in and it's like, but they know everything about you, right? And I don't even post everything personal about my stuff. I didn't even post our vacation stuff, nothing like that. But it's like, but it's funny you post, but people see that. It's just, it's a different way of connecting, but it's not the same, guys.
I don't like it.
Get out, hug your neighbor, hug your family.
I was like, Isaac
Tell your
would
kids
say,
you love
touch
them.
some grass. Yeah.
That's some grass, man. All right. That was a great, I mean, this could have gone longer, guys.
I know you're
think-
looking for more stuff. Stop it. We have to cut this off.
No. I was just like looking at my notes and see if I wanted to mention anything worth of significance, but I think we're going to leave it there. We can make this like a part 2 again.
At least always wants to jump on.
We have to do a part 2 of Diddy because there's so much.
There's a
more to
lot.
come out. Okay,
We can make
Diddy's
this into a
trials-
All right.
series.
Diddy's trials
Guys,
coming out in
one
May.
podcast at a time.
So-
One podcast at a time.
We love to pod. All right.
Well, this is how we talk anyways.
I know.
Off camera, this is how we talk anyways.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, this is true. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed that. Make sure to leave a comment below what you think about AI in the future, how it's impacting your life, what the dangers, etc. And tune in next week. We'll be talking more about real estate, DCNI, and
I'll be in the back.
Elise will be back.
Thanks for having me
back at
again,
the
guys.
desk,
It's always
but,
fun.
We're doing this more for sure.
All right. Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Peace out.
Bye, guys.